Dreamer, considering how much he's been around, has seldom seen an athlete with a wide and varied offense that Jimmy Rave brings to the dance, so to speak. This is going to be a handful for Lance Dreamer, but in many ways, Lance Dreamer can keep up with some of the best, and tonight is a true test for Mr. Dreamer.
Well, Jimmy Rave walked into Wildside a boy, but he is now a man, and he's the junior heavyweight champion. Showing the world at Freedom Fight 2001 in that phenomenal off-the-charts ladder match with Caprice Ice Coleman that he could go with any single wrestler on the planet today. Now defending his title this week on Wildside in your opening contest. Collar and elbow tie-up in the center of the ring. Standing switch by Dreamer. Waistlock takedown. Sit out by Rave. And both men to their feet.
A little bit of collegiate wrestling to start things off. Two athletes who have to sensibly feel each other out. And kind of a surprise seeing Lance Dreamer shake the hand of Jimmy Rave as the match began. It was not something that sat pretty well with Mr. Delicious, who's already showing signs of frustration.
Side headlock takedown, a head scissors by Rave. Both men up again. Another side headlock takedown by Rave. Head scissors by Dreamer. Rave kips up one more time. Side headlock once more.
That's third time's the charm.
And we know we've talked about how Mr. Delicious and Lance Dreamer, their bizarre relationship, and how they are the difference between night and day as a tag team collectively known as Delicious Dreams. There you see Rave reversal. Off the ropes comes Dreamer, hip toss, and down he goes.
Yeah, because, I mean, Lance Dreamer is a genuinely serious wrestler, a guy who's trying to perfect his craft every time the bell rings. And Mr. Delicious is a marblehead, a complete goofball. It seems to be literally oil and water, Mr. Delicious and Lance Dreamer, but we've seen some strange combinations of professional wrestling, and some of the strangest have made it to the very top, so you never know.
There was a pair of Japanese arm drags. Dreamer bailed to the outside. Jimmy Rave, really one of the top favorites here in Wildside, one of the most popular athletes on the roster, for his ability to perform amazing, death-defying maneuvers, and more importantly, his ability to sustain punishment and keep on going. His heart has a story to be told for the whole Wildside locker room and wrestling in general.
No kidding. He's definitely the classic example of what you can do when you put your nose to the grindstone. You may not be the biggest guy, you may not be the tallest guy, but if you got it inside you, both in your heart and more importantly, your head, you can come out with the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Oh dear, Mr. Delicious. The best laid plans of mice and men and bald-headed geeks can sometimes go astray.
Well, Mr. Delicious up.
Okay. I think the combination of Lance Dreamer and Mr. Delicious may have seen better days. You know, it's so cool. I hate to change the subject here. It's so cool to see this great match going on here, because when I went through the NWA Wildside dressing room, it was turmoil left and right, and nobody's telling me what's going on in this hour. As we mentioned at the top of the hour, I'm surprised that we've got a match out here, particularly a match as exciting as this one, but what's going to happen for the rest of the hour? I am totally stumped, Dan.
This has been one of the most hectic nights I have ever experienced here in Wildside, both in the office and here in the booth. Our format is literally just a note card. We've only got 2 or 3 matches that we know of for sure, and everybody is being so hush-hush. I don't know what's going on back there.
A lot of cold shoulders what's going on back there. It's not doing us any favors. We know we're in for a whale of an hour. What hour of Wildside isn't incredible? But I'd love to know a little bit more information here. Lack of information. Imagine that.
Dreamer now in control. It seems as if Mr. Delicious's miscue did not throw him off track entirely too bad.
Shows you what kind of pro that Lance Dreamer is. He's able to keep a liability like Mr. Delicious at bay, and that's a tall order indeed.
Rave comes off, spinning back elbow by Dreamer, well placed. Lateral press.
Still not enough to pin the junior heavyweight champion. Rave is so good, and I think pretty much a favorite of all the ladies here in the NCW arena, without a doubt.
2 weeks ago, he upset the World Television Champion in a non-title match, or the last portion of it anyway. All that Adam Jacobs with an assist from Caprice Coleman, but nonetheless, Rave got to do. Russian leg sweep by Dreamer. Rave's down, 2 count, and Rave is up.
We knew that Lance Dreamer had any Russian in him. Oh, Mr. Delicious now taking the opportunity to actually do some damage to somebody. That's not his tag team partner. That's a switch.
I've called Mr. Delicious a lot of things in my time, some of which I can't repeat on the air, some of which I can. But one thing's for sure, it seems for once he's actually got his head in this matchup now, as he's giving the assist to Lance Dreamer and not screwing him over in the process.
Speaks volumes there, certainly for a Lance Dreamer to get his act together here going against Jimmy Rave. Because this is a true test for young Mr. Dreamer. He needs to rise to the top, and it's difficult with that cretin at ringside.
Dreamer showing signs of frustration as he cannot keep Rave down.
With all the turmoil going on, whoa!
Oh my goodness, tilt-a-whirl into a variation of a DDT there by Rave. Tremendous counter there. He caught Dreamer out of nowhere.
Truly came out of left field, and that's what it takes in order to get the job done here at the Wildside, where the Junior Heavyweight Championship is on the line. And considering all this turmoil going on backstage, at least I think we can safely say that the NWA World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, the new heavenly bodies, will be here this evening facing White Trash and Tank. I think that's still on.
Yeah, and if they think they're going to waltz in here for the World Tag Team Championships, they've got White Trash and Tank, and Trash and Tank actually closely related to those Tag Team Championships with an incident Trash had with Rick Michaels a few months ago. But in any event, that's going to be one hell of a matchup, and that's really all we know this week. The new heavenly bodies, the World Tag Team Champions, tremendous competitors. Tank and Trash, two of the most hardcore athletes around. This is going to be a tremendous hour of Wildside, and still, just stay tuned, fans. We don't know what is in store here.
The fear of the unknown this week on Wildside.
Up and over goes Jimmy Rave. Shoulder block to the midsection of Dreamer. And he's got Dreamer, the Gravity Killer. And that's the finishing move of Jimmy Rave.
Rave had to dive off that second turnbuckle in order to do it, but it took as much out of Rave as it took out of Lance Dreamer.
Well, Jimmy Rave was able to hit the Gravity Killer, but unfortunately, due to the amount of punishment he has sustained, could not make the pinfall. And Dreamer now getting his wits about him and going back to the attack. It's a Jerry by Jimmy Rave.
Could you hear the sound of the boot of Rave hit Lance Dreamer smack dab in the ear? Not only will it knock you out, it will knock your balance off for the next 5 minutes. Garish. A garish maneuver from Rave, but Dreamer's paying the price.
Well, this is Rave's point of recovery here. He's hit two key maneuvers and needs to close in for a win here. He's really got Dreamer reeling. He goes hard into the corner. Big clothesline by Jimmy Rave.
Funny, Rave is using a lot of maneuvers that a lot of big guys use, a lot of the bigger athletes here at Wildside. Surprising to see a junior heavyweight utilize a lot of those moves. That's probably what's throwing Dreamer off his game plan, in addition to the famous liability, Mr. Delicious.
Well, when you've got the heart of Jimmy Rave, you can do that and much, much more. Backslide by Rave. 2 count only. Tremendous matchup here. Opening up this hour of Wildside. Douglas clothesline and a super kick right on the money.
Beautifully executed, textbook super kick on the chin of Lance Dreamer. The junior heavyweight champion needs to zoom in for the kill, but he's taken a lot of punishment up to this point.
Have a quick reversal. Rave comes back, kick to the midsection. Dreamer's got him in a sleeper hole.
No, it's a Weaver lock. I always wanted to say that.
Rave throws him off. Sleeper drop by Jimmy Rave. And Jimmy Rave also used that as a finishing maneuver on a few separate occasions.
Unfortunately, Rave is too spent to merely put an arm over the Lance Dreamer. Now he does. Oh, so close yet so far away.
Tremendous, tremendous matchup this week on Wildside. And fans, we can't tell you enough to stay tuned to what's to come this hour. Rave rolls him up, and Rave gets the win.
Totally out of left field. That's what it took. That's what it took to pin Lance Dreamer. And Jimmy Rave remains the junior heavyweight champion.
Oh, Rave is your winner. And Mr. Delicious going to console Lance Dreamer.
Some of their respect that Lance Dreamer showed Jimmy Rave at the very beginning of the match is still there. And a handshake between Lance Dreamer and Jimmy Rave. Oh,
what the hell?
What is this? For crying out loud. It's Steve Martin's bunch.
Wait a minute. This is a two...
I guess it's not that these idiots understand that this is the NWA Elite, pal. And nobody gives a damn about any of these people out here. And most importantly, nobody gives a damn about garbage like you, Jimmy Rave. Now get on it. Get on that pump in. I want you to understand this, Rave. This is my building, and you're going to use your power. Throw this garbage out of the way. Get on it. Get on it. Get on it. Now, everybody knows that Bill Behrens has been out here lately trying to take over and make stipulations for matches that he's got no business in. Well, tonight, this is our final solution, and it is the NWA Elite showing that we run this building. This is Steve North's building, and where's that damn cameraman at? Get that camera on me. I'm telling you right now, Bill Behrens, your night is going to end. You are not going to defend our business anymore, or you're not going to be able to speak with your solid players.
Bill Behrens, the Elite
Shut the hell up, Behrens.
NWA Vice President.
Let him in the ring. Come on. Let him in. Let him in. We're going to handle this right now. Step back, everybody. Step back. Come in here, Behrens. You want to talk about this man-to-man? We're going to explain this to you now. You and your NWA don't mean a damn thing. Because this is the NWA right here.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
hell?
Jeff Bailey, superkick Bill Behrens!
He's the Vice President of the National Wrestling Alliance.
Not for much longer if this keeps up. Oh my God! Justice has got a hold of the NWA VP! My God! We're going to hell in a handbasket! Oh.
This is ridiculous. This is the most sickening display I have seen even from this group.
What are they trying to get across
The
here?
Elite is on the same page. They have been a party divided for several months, but Martin and Bailey... Oh my God!
A spinebuster with an assist from Terry Knight by David Young on what's left of the body.
Wait a minute!
Behrens. Uh-oh. Oh dear! A hurricane has invaded Wildside. AJ Styles, Total Destruction, and Rob Dynamite Williams. But what has happened here? We have seen Jeff Bailey and Steve Martin combine their troops and lay out the NWA VP Bill Behrens in the middle of the ring.
Wait a minute. Steve Martin has the microphone. The owner has the mic.
Not haircut, my man. You want to get my sadistic mind thinking? Well, that's fine with me. And I swear to God, if anybody crosses this line, you're fired. Period. You can just like Scotty Red, fired. Cut your ass, kid. I'll cut your ass. Cross that line. Cross that line, and you're fired.
I don't believe this, Dan.
Tonight, we're going to have some survivor matches. You're going to learn what it's like to be the employee, and I'm the boss.
Survivor matches?
Tonight, and Ron Williams and AJ Styles, you better listen up and leave that piece of white trash in the ring. Tonight, survivor matches, and the rules are simple as this. You got to go 10 minutes in the ring. If you win, you stay with Wildside. If you lose, you're gone for 30 days with no pay.
Is Bill Behrens out?
You want to play with a big boy? Well, tonight, you got David Young in a survivor match. You are mine. And just to make things interesting, Terry Knight, too.
This is absurd.
Total destruction. of the arena. Survivor match. You're going to take on Adam Jacobs.
He doesn't mind that.
And just for fun, I'm going to add a man who's just as good as you, AJ, and I know it eats you alive. Jacey Cross.
Handicap match. That's what it is.
Just because those little six-pack of abs need to work out, you got to go 15 minutes. Boys, welcome to the big league, because tonight you're all out of my hair for 30 days, and I hate every damn one of you. NWA Elite, let's get it on right now. Boom! Cross the line, Sean, they're fired. I'm gonna be fired for that kick good there, man.
What is going on in that tattered pipe cleaner that he calls a brainstem? Steve Martin. He's gone totally off the deep end with NWA VP Bill Behrens taken out of commission. And he's key in the matchmaking process here. It's now Steve Martin's game. And he's putting new matches, survivor matches, taking place this week, and I'm assuming next week too. I mean, we only have what's left of this hour here. This is absurd.
Survival matches, handicap situations, and Mr. Wildside, Steve Martin, is exercising his authority. The vice president of the NWA is out of the way. Steve Martin is reverting this building into his house once again. AJ Styles next week is going to take on Adam Jacobs and Jason Cross. Rob Williams is going to take on David Young and Terry Knight. Total Destruction, they're going to take on the Monsters, Justice, the Wildside Heavyweight Champion, and this German freak, Schwanz. It's going to be unbelievable. Fans, stay tuned. I don't know what's going to happen.